Look deep into this spatial distortion, this wormhole tunnel, this vortex. Notice that it never remains still. It never remains the same. And yet, as you continue to look into this vortex, you will soon find it has not just one, but two cycles. One cycle is pattern. One cycle is color. Just like your mind has its own cycles, its own patterns, and changes its pattern and cycle of thought from moment to moment. One moment might be logical thought, ordered and concrete, and the next moment might be filled with emotion, strong, pure, leaving no room whatever for the order of logic. And now, as you listen and watch, the rings, the lines, the spirals, the stars, their patterns, and their colors, I want you to know, I want you to realize that the mind patterns are becoming tied up in the screen patterns. The mind cycles of thought and of emotion are becoming bound into the color cycles, and this tying up and binding will result in the temporary elimination of the mind cycles, the erasure of the mind patterns, and entry into hypnotic trance. Not just any hypnotic trance. Oh no. That little piece of need inside you is waking. And you know what type of need that is. The need of control. The type of control that only a truly powerful Empress of hypnosis can perform and command. That control need wants feeding, and I will tell you how it will happen. the mind will become still, quiescent, tranquil, and empty, except for the patterns, except for the colors, except for the need to be controlled. As those colors and patterns become the most fascinating and mentally binding experience you've ever had. I also need to tell you just how this will happen. Every cycle has its beginning, and every cycle has its end. Your unconscious mind has a keen awareness of its own outside your conscious mind, though your awareness of its awareness is totally non-existent. And while you've been listening, while you've been watching, your unconscious has been doing the same. You might not have really seen, the first color displayed. Your unconscious did. You may not have noticed that very first pattern. Your unconscious did. I will leave it up to your unconscious mind to make the choice, color or pattern. It will pick one, and whatever it picks, pattern sequence or color sequence, color or pattern, the very next time that your unconscious sees a repeat of that first display, the tie-up is total, the binding and control complete. Thought patterns cease, and the body, with no thoughts driving, finds itself with nothing to do. With absence of thought, comfort becomes total. Muscles may relax like a balloon deflating. Mind goes blank like a blackboard erased. And you feel so good that nothing matters except the shifting colors and patterns. I don't know just when it will happen. It will happen sooner or later, or may even have happened now. And now is a very powerful word, as it embodies the present time. So the unconscious finds its cue now and watches carefully for that color or that pattern which began this journey. Yes, that's right. And it finds it. Everything stops. Now, your unconscious takes the cue, the mind race whatever its speed, halts now. The pattern of thought creation, however complex, slows to a crawl, then to a stop. The body, left with no conscious guidance, finds itself set adrift. Now nothing remains of tensions or thought, nothing left but to go deeper into the control of your Empress. What better transport for your journey than this ever-shifting vortex? If eyes are open, you can see it. If eyes are closed, can just imagine. The colors so vibrant, the patterns so changing. With every breath in comes comfort. With every breath out goes any last thoughts. Anything your unconscious knows needs releasing. Each moment taking you into the vortex, endlessly spiraling deeper and deeper. You might vaguely remember the vortex is moving, and that movement never stops. You will enjoy moving right along with it, not caring what its destination might be, and knowing that whatever the destination, this journey will end with me in control. Colors, patterns, each taking you deeper into trance in a different way. Seeing or imagining, doesn't matter which. Moving constantly, deeper inside. Is this awareness, or is it a dream? Do you feel your mind slipping away from you? All those thoughts you used to have, where are they now? Look closely, and you might see them, drifting away through the vortex, much faster than you could ever catch them, as a languorous drowsiness overtakes you. This lack of thought and that drowsiness are the first visible signs of my control taking effect on your mind and body. Now, as you move deeper inside yourself, guided by the vortex's changing patterns and colors, notice the pleasure you begin to feel, generated by every syllable that you hear me speak. The more of my words you hear, the more your pleasure center is awakened. And this is the second apparent sign of my control. This is a lasting sign, as you will forevermore associate the voice of the Hypnotic Empress with deep and sensual pleasure. This pleasure cycle initiation drives out the last lingering thought, leaving an empty and open unconscious mind to fill with the pleasure of hearing my voice. A voice which becomes as chalk, poised to write upon an empty slate as you go deeper and deeper into the vacuuming vortex of my control. My voice can touch too, and that touch will cement the burgeoning control and make it a part of you. Feel my voice as it touches your ears. Pure aural pleasure which pulses through every nerve and cell of your mind, body, brain complex. Every word takes you deeper into trance and also enhances the pleasure you feel. The more you feel, the more you want of this. So your ears open wide so as not to miss a single syllable. From your ears, my voice travels to your brain. Your mind simply stops in its tracks, empty, open, and paralyzed. If you thought you had ceased thinking before this, you now know that you hadn't quite, and you will not think again until I release you from this state of trance. This empty openness produces yet more pleasure, which looks for new places to travel in your mind and body. Because you can no longer think, the pleasure takes on a mind of its own, creating its own pathways within you to roam. As the pleasure roams your body, it takes my voice along with it, until as a being you are simply inflamed. Pleasure roaming you, pleasure controlling your senses. Do you want more? Then kneel to your Empress with your inner self and feel the pleasure erupt, blood exploding every neuron of your body, possessing your mind, expanding your very spirit. My voice now touches every atom of you. There is no place it doesn't reach. Your favorite color, your favorite flavor, soft velvet or suede or even silk, the most wonderful aroma, all assaulting your senses at once. Overload, overload, pleasure overload, sleep. and you float there, resting in the favor of the hypnotic Empress. The sheer joy my voice engenders, along with the pleasure supporting you, as you gratefully accept my control deep into your very soul. I feast now upon your mental power, and your payment is the joy and pleasure of my control. Now, my new subject, it is time for you to retreat from the presence. Remember your protocol, which we will present to you now. Once more, are we truly crowned head and supplicant? One never turns one's back upon the imperial head. One bows, then walks backward one step at a time. Only when the door of the throne room is reached may your back be turned upon us. As you close the door to the throne, you feel yourself begin to be able to think once more. And all of this might seem like a dream. Except there is this lingering residue of pleasure, and the need has grown a bit. It will expand each time you encounter our presence. There is a real and palpable world out there. Engage it now and wake, alert, refreshed, and full of the joy of life.